Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for once again tuning in and joining the revolution. My name is CM Burnham alongside my broadcast partner, Travis Falhark, and tonight we have some more great WCR action for everyone to enjoy, including the revolutionary title on the line. The second son, Damon Windsor, puts the title up against Lance Hoyt.
Big man from Texas, he's my Texan boy proud. He gets a shot at the title tonight. But up first, we have Brian Pillman Jr. and Matt Sydal to kick this first night of action off right now.
Brian Pillman Jr., second generation star. Matt Sydal, of course, a frequent member of the WCR roster.
Introducing first, Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, we even got ring announcer Justin Roberts with us this week.
Brian Pillman Jr. making his way out here. Of course, his father, the late great Brian Pillman, former WCW star, WWF star, and Brian Pillman Jr. continuing on the legacy that his father established, even to a certain extent carrying on the tradition of being a loose cannon there, coming through the crowd.
Definitely shades of his father there, the late Brian Pillman Jr. kind of got those same accolades as Senior does. And he's not somebody that is light in the ring either. He's actually very well in between those ropes.
This will be a major test for him because Matt Sydal, world experience, certainly far more experience as a wrestler than Brian Pillman Jr., and currently still the Impact Wrestling X Division champion, a title he has held for many, many months. We saw Matt Sydal on one of our previous WCR broadcasts, and it's great to have him back in here again.
Matt Sydal is always a pleasure to watch.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, formerly known as Hannibal, this is Matt Sydal.
You know, I actually first saw Matt Sydal some years back at on an old TV show, I should say. Some are familiar, has a cult following now. I believe it was WSX, Wrestling Society X. That was the first experience I had of Matt Sydal. And then I even knew that he was a star in the making. He was just really getting his footing in the door at that time, but he was making major waves back then. And now here he is walking into this arena here tonight with that aforementioned Impact Wrestling X Division Championship, a title that, in my opinion, he's brought a lot of prestige back to.
Matt Sydal, he calls himself Reborn, and he is here to greet the fans and make it well known that he continues the tradition of X Division style wrestling. Matt Sydal, high-flying aerial artiste. He and his brother Mike Sydal, mainstays of this region of the United States. But this will certainly be an interesting opportunity as you have an established high flyer. You have a man who his father was legendary for being high flyer. They called him Flying Brian Pillman.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that he carries on that tradition from his father as well. And as the referee moves in to check between the two, this match is about to commence underway.
So we'll go ahead. Let's get it out of the way, Burnham. Who do you favor more in this match? Do you think Sydal's experience is going to hand him that victory, or do you think maybe he's not ready for the rookie in Pillman Jr.?
Well, I think to make it very quickly here, I think the obvious aspect is experience always wins out. And fans, you're going to win out when we come back with this match after these messages. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The bell has rung, and we are underway with this match. Matt Sydal and Brian Pillman Jr. And shaking the hands between the two.
Interesting show of sportsmanship there. Wouldn't have expected that from Pillman Jr.
As the two of them now look to jockey for position. I'm not certain, but I believe this may be the first meeting between these two, so there will be a feeling out procedure in the beginning here as they try to figure out exactly what each other is up to. Obviously, Matt Sydal, as he holds up that Impact Wrestling X Division Championship, he's probably more well known. I'm sure that Pillman has had the opportunity to scout him better then Seidel has had the chance to scout Pillman.
Now, while Seidel holds up the championship, Pillman's mullet hair right there is holding up very well.
I like the hairstyle.
Of course you do. It's not like y'all don't have the same similar tastes, I guess. Y'all probably visit the same barber as well.
That's doubtful, but we'll move on from there.
Oh, okay. Much like the mullet should be moved on from.
And I think the fans may be getting a little bit under the skin here of Seidel. We saw this when he was here before, and
Well, I mean, look at this.
hold on. What's going on here?
Well, he's telling him to hold it up because he's...
I think he's telling.
No, he's
he's asking. He's telling him to put the title on the line.
I thought he was just telling the referee, hey, show this. Let them know who I am. I'm a champion.
No, the referee is talking to Pillman. I do believe this is now a match for the Impact Wrestling X Division Championship. What a major opportunity for Brian Pillman Jr.
Wait, is this actually sanctioned? Is this an actually sanctioned Impact Wrestling X Division title match?
Well, you'd have to talk with the Impact Wrestling Board of Directors on that one, but
I mean, apparently we don't, because, I mean, Matt Seidel just said, hold it up.
I know that certain wrestlers are given a lot of leeway with championships that they hold, and I know that Matt Seidel defends that title all over the world, so I can definitely see that he would have the opportunity to do something like he's done. Nonetheless, that's what we've got right here. Impact X Division Championship on the line. What a feather in the cap that would be for Brian Pillman Jr.
I was just about to say, he should already look at it as somewhat of a feather in his cap that Matt Seidel is actually thinking that Pillman, whether he thinks he's worthy enough or not, has the nerve to say, here, I'll put the title on the line. And right there, a quick pinfall attempt by Pillman Jr. Only a 2 count, though, says the official.
Seidel maintaining that side headlock, and this is very counter to what I think both of us expected in this match from these two. We expect a lot more of the high-flying, fast, rapid pace of the X Division, but these two right now, ground-based.
Yeah, no, I actually expected, I'll tell you what, you're half right. I expected Seidel to be flipping and flying everywhere because that's his specialty. But no, look at that. The intelligence.
Yeah, Seidel.
Right there. There's a 2.
That's where the experience comes in, and that's why I still feel, especially now with the title on the line, that Seidel...
And speaking of, look at that.
Seidel going back to the championship belt.
Well, I think, this shows the true mark of a true champion in Matt Seidel, because maybe he thought that Pillman Jr. expected him to go flying around, doing that high-flying acrobatic maneuvers, but instead, Matt Seidel displaying that he's got a solid ground game as well, taking Pillman Jr. down several times in this matchup.
Now, going for the figure.
Oh, there you go, look at that.
Swift kick by Seidel into the thigh.
And we talk about the aerial maneuvers of Matt Seidel, but maybe we're not giving credit enough to his striking ability. He has shown in the past that he has some wicked leg kicks as well as knee strikes to the face.
Look how deep he goes there. Shades of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
No, Pillman Jr.
Jr. returns it, though. And Seidel is rocking, and Seidel bails, almost bails to the outside, rethinks it. Pillman there, quick to follow up, rams Seidel's head into the top turnbuckle. Drags him over, going to introduce him to number 2.
God, you wonder what's going through the mind of Pillman Jr. right now?
I wonder what's going through the mind of Seidel. He's been
turnbuckle
3 times, yeah.
That's what's going through his mind.
That's all he's seeing. Chopped there by Seidel with no real effect.
Here we go.
He returns now.
How do you like your chops? Medium or well done?
Back and forth between the two. Taking in addition out
there you go.
Back to the strike again on that thigh.
Very smart on the part of Matt Seidel. You go back to what your opponent was not expecting. Pillman was expecting to continue to trade chops. Seidel said, I'm done fooling around with you, boy. I'm just going to go straight down to chopping down the tree.
And obviously with Seidel, he knows the legacy of Brian Pillman's father, and we know that Brian Pillman Jr. carries a lot of that legacy on.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
If Pillman Jr.'s strategy is the same as his dad's, doing those type of strikes is going to weaken his ability to pull off those aerial maneuvers.
We don't know that, especially because we're trying to say that Pillman Jr., that he's the same mark as his dad, Pillman Sr., and we don't know that. He's still in the very much beginning stages of his career.
That's what his dad used.
Yeah. But maybe I'm speaking a little too soon. Maybe I'm not giving the kid enough credit.
Man, Seidel is completely rocked here, going all over the place.
I think he may have caught him off guard there with that drop kick, that springboard drop kick. As my partner alluded to, shades of his father, the late great Brian Pillman. Oh, hard European uppercut there. Seidel may need to be careful. These strikes, while we gave props to Seidel for his strikes earlier, obviously we can see Pillman is the bigger of the two, muscular-wise, so he can probably add a little bit more oomph to those strikes than what Seidel can.
Pillman now taking control of the arm. Referee really needs to get him out of the corner, but Pillman takes care of that situation on his own.
Yep.
Picks Seidel out, backbreaker, right in the middle of the ring. And now, pinfall attempt by Pillman. Oh, good enough for two.
It's going to take more than a backbreaker to keep Matt Seidel down.
The champion knows what's at stake here, and he's not going to fall prey to just a simple move like a backbreaker. But Pillman continuing to press the advantage. 3 forearm shots.
Oh, there it is, the trip up, and we know what he follows with this. Standing moonsault.
And he connects beautifully in the middle, hooks both legs, and still Pillman is able to kick out of that.
I gotta say, I'm impressed with Pillman Jr. in this. He's been able to hang in there with Seidel, and Seidel has hit him with some pretty wicked shots.
A major testament to Brian Pillman Jr. that he is indeed able to go hold for hold with a superstar the caliber of Matt Seidel, but right here, the single leg Boston Crab.
Oh, he's got that in deep there. Look at that, Burnham. You see that?
Yeah, Seidel applying it properly. You see a lot of guys hook Boston Crabs, but they don't sit down on them. Seidel sitting down on it, although now he's stood up a little bit, and he gave Pillman the opportunity to drag himself over.
Oh, but you got to ask yourself, even though we see Pillman going for those ropes and breaking the submission attempt there, you saw how deep Matt Seidel set down on that. People don't understand, those that have never been in that hole, that puts such a wear on your lower back. It'll be interesting to see how Pillman Jr. reacts to that on his back from Matt Seidel.
Right now, Pillman Jr. having trouble getting back up to a vertical base. His back has been worked over, and of course, you still see Seidel going back to that thigh, going back to the strikes on that left thigh. If we can weaken Pillman, if we can keep him down, keep him from being able to get up to a vertical.
Oh, no.
Russian leg sweep.
That's the mark of the rookie there.
Right there.
Showboated way too much.
You are correct there.
And look at this.
Seidel just tying up Brian Pillman. Oh, just twisted him.
My Lord. Good Lord.
Make him kiss his own foot.
I don't know what he's doing here, but it definitely doesn't look like it's in any kind of pleasurable state.
And again, this continues to work over the back area. You can see the pain just running all across.
I mean, look at that. Look at it from our angle right here. He's got one of Pillman's legs hooked while he's still wrenching on the opposite leg.
And they're going to shoot his...
Oh, look at that.
Pillman able to break that out, and now Pillman maybe going to go for a surfboard.
It almost looked like Seidel was trying to convert that into an STF-like maneuver, and Pillman saw it coming and blocked the attempt, and now he's turning it to his advantage, looking for what you said, a surfboard.
Is he going to fall back with it, hoist?
And he's got it.
Now the referee should be right down in there because Pillman's shoulders
but look at Pillman
on the mat.
Pillman's doing good. Look at that. He's rocking back and forth.
He's trying to keep one up and that's the problem with that hold is you can't maintain it long without putting yourself at risk of being pinned.
Oh, but look at that. The leg.
Yeah. All that work that Seidel has done across the course of this match. And Pillman now is to the point where he has definitely got a bad wheel.
Yes, he does. Matt Seidel, he knew what he's going for, and he's going right back to it.
He smells that blood. He knows that is the weak point. He's going to continue to work over that.
Good Lord, did you hear that shot?
I heard it, and Pillman felt it.
That kick pad there just echoed right off of the hamstring of Pillman Jr.
Pillman crashes to the ring as Seidel stands not yet victorious, but he feels that he will be.
And a wicked shot to the back. This is to your point. This is what we were saying earlier. He's not only done a great job of working over the left leg of Pillman Jr., but he's also stayed concentrated on that back with those submission attempts and now those two wicked kicks to the lower back.
You know, you hear about old school wrestlers always focusing on one body part. The Andersons always focusing on the arm. Seidel is basically doing that, but he picked two body parts that were close enough to each other that he could continue to work over both, sometimes even at the same
Yes, to your point right there, that half Boston Crab we saw earlier did just that. And now, look at this. Just shot. Look at that. He just picked the ankle right there.
Pillman having trouble just mobilizing himself, and now
he's on the right leg. Look at this.
Around the rope. Referee this up here, but this is an impressive display of the flexibility of Matt Seidel. I'm sure he learned some of that actually from his brother Mike, who considers himself a yoga master, and you can see some of those Eastern philosophy style body kinesthetics that Matt Seidel uses there.
And that's why they call him Reborn. He had, in his mind, a spiritual awakening and has brought him several amounts of success since then.
Pillman trying to fire up there, reversed the Irish whip, but Seidel tosses him down on the ring apron and then just kicks him off.
The flexibility of Matt Seidel on full display. He got that kick all the way up to the side of the head of Pillman Jr. and hit it flush.
And fans, with no disrespect to Brian Pillman, I can't help but feel that at this point, the only thing keeping him in this match is the knowledge that X Division Championship is on the line, and he does not want to lose the chance to possibly somehow pull out a victory. But as this match goes on and on, it seems like that's going to slip further and further away from it.
Yeah, the best people always knew that sometimes you just got to know when to call it a day and try your luck at another time. But I guess in Pillman's mind, there is not going to be another time, and he could very well be right.
And downstairs again. Downstairs again goes Seidel. Seidel had his head rammed into the top turnbuckle, allowing Pillman to get back in the ring.
Oh my
but
God! Wicked!
Continues to focus on the legs. Oh, Pillman underneath. Pillman with a scoop slam. Could he get it here? And that right arm shooting out from underneath. And Pillman said, he's like, man, I was so close, but I didn't put all the pressure on the shoulders. There's those rookie errors, those little tiny errors that rookie peoples make.
Yeah, but don't dwell on that too long, Pillman. You got to get back to work right there. You've got the champ weakened in a vulnerable state. Don't play to the crowd. This is those rookie mistakes you were talking about. Why are you playing and showboating? You should be finishing this.
Right now, that crowd is giving him some sort of an energy. Is he going to be able to utilize it to his advantage as he knocks down Seidel? Just kind of catapults him over, head over heels. And now Pillman to the outside, going to go upstairs. Is this smart? With his leg and back in the condition that it's in, Pillman perched on the top. Off the top, goes for a high cross body.
High wrist.
Nobody home. And Seidel now looking to go into the same territory. I think he's going to go for something more akin to maybe perhaps the 450 that he's known for. Maybe no, standing shooting star press.
I think he's just going to go airborne.
There he is. Connects right across the middle. And recovers from that impact.
And that's all she wrote.
That is indeed the end of the match. Matt Seidel making an impact to defend the Impact X Division champion. None, zero puns intended there. But give all the credit that you can to Brian Pillman Jr. He stepped up as much as he could with that championship on the line. He showed a lot of heart, a lot of determination. Seidel can stand victorious here, but he knows he went through a fight in order to keep that championship around his waist.
I mean, even I got to admit, I was very thoroughly impressed with Pillman Jr. keeping up with Seidel as long as he did. But, as we stated, as you stated at the beginning of this match, Seidel was going to have the experience behind him, and that was exactly what played into the downfall of Pillman Jr. here tonight. Still, your Impact Wrestling X Division champion, Reborn, Matt Seidel.
There will be other opportunities for Brian Pillman down the line. He shows great promise, and I'm sure his father is very proud of him. Brian Pillman Jr. carrying on the Pillman legacy. And we'll see more of him in WCR. But speaking of what we're going to see later on tonight, another title on the line, the Revolutionary Championship up for grabs as the second son, Damon Windsor, puts that title on the line against the Big Texan, Lance Hoyt. That comes up later.
give up all that we had. And I wanna stick through good and the bad. When the rain passes, the sunlight's the sky, then there will be hope for you and for I. As long as we tough it out through the cold nights, there will be warmth in our life. And I don't know why.
Well, fans, all kinds of people wanting to come in and join the revolution. Diametric opposites there. Next week, though, we've got the return of Malico against Eugene. Former WWE star Eugene is going to be here in world class. We also have the debuts of Selena De La Renta and Ali from TNA.
Sweet old little Allie gonna be here at WCR.
I have her hands full, and the man I know that you're looking forward to seeing, Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner against a member of the Arrow Club, the Navajo Warrior. That's going to be a massive main event as well. But coming up next, we've got the Revolutionary title on the line, and we want to take you back about 4 weeks to the last time Damon Windsor was in the ring. He had a confrontation with the Chosen.
Long before I was a wrestling promoter and long before I was a professional wrestler, I was one of them. So when you call them disgusting, you're calling me disgusting. When you're calling them pigs, you're calling me a pig. And when you're calling them hillbillies, well, hell, you're right, I am a damn hillbilly, but proud of it.
I think I know why you're really out here, Jeff. You've come out here to reach the mountaintop, king of the mountain. You have come out here to pay tribute to me and to kneel before the altar. I warn you, Mr. Jarrett, you can kneel before me, or I can make you kneel before me.
Ladies and gentlemen, main event time right now. The Revolutionary Championship on the line. And here comes the challenger. World-renowned, world-traveled, Big Lance Hoyt making his way to the ring. Travis, I know that you're going to be a little bit torn here because, like you said at the beginning of the show, this guy's a fellow Texan. He's a guy that I know that you've admired for some time, but I also know you have that appreciation, questionable though it is, of Damon Windsor and Anna Lynn.
I do. It's hard for me to go against this man right here because of how big he is, how athletic he is, and that's just what we produce is success from the great state of Texas. It'll be interesting to see how the mind games will work, if at all, on Big Lance Hoyt.
Well, Lance Hoyt is certainly world-renowned, is certainly world-accomplished. But that's to take nothing away from the current Revolutionary Champion, the second son, Damon Windsor, who as always is preceded by his number one disciple, Anna Lynn, as she comes out bearing the belt. She proudly shows off. Second only to the WCR Heavyweight Championship. I have no real understanding what it is, the grasp that Damon Windsor has over Anna Lynn.
It's not for us to understand.
I don't think it's for any normal person to even begin to comprehend. These two are wicked strange. I've known Damon Windsor essentially his entire career. He is a man who I will say he knows when to reinvent himself. You see professional wrestlers go and maintain certain personas and certain behavior tactics for long stretches of time. Windsor's never really one to keep with anything for very long. When he feels that something has run its course, he's quick to dispose of it and come up with a new identity. He's been known as an enforcer. He's been known as big business. But right now, once upon a time, he was actually called trash. But right now, he has reinvented himself as the second son, and he is on a crusade of some sort.
He is indeed. It is the unholy crusader himself. The second son has been quite dominant here in WCR.
Absolutely, since taking that Revolutionary Championship from Chandler the Truth Hopkins, Damon Windsor has successfully found ways to hold on to it. I won't always say defend, because in some instances he takes the cheap way out, but he still is in possession of that title, and he has put it up against many of the WCR regulars, many of the people who come in to join the Revolution, and one way or another he has found a way to escape with that Revolutionary title intact. But tonight, quite literally, the biggest challenge that he has, in the form of one Lance Hoyt, one half of the Killer Elite Squad.
You know, most people would probably be intimidated to face Lance Hoyt. I don't get that vibe from Windsor at all.
I need to get a little closer look. Allow me to stand close to you so that you wretched swine of Wichita can actually have an opportunity to be next to a great man. You see this championship? This is the Revolutionary Championship. That means that I am the leader of the revolution, your leader, your spiritual guide, and I would appreciate it if every one of you puts your hands to the heavens, repent, and worship me. As your leader, I stand alone, only accompanied by my muse. We seek to cleanse the world, and everyone who approaches the altar will kneel or fall.
Well, we'll find out if Lance Hoyt is going to kneel or fall. This match, the opening bell, will occur when we come back to WCR.
The following contest is a singles match scheduled for and is for the World Class Revolutionary Championship. It's a pretty big deal. Introducing first, the challenger from Dallas, Texas, by the way of Tokyo, Japan, Lance Hoyt! And his opponent, your reigning and defending Revolutionary Champion, representing the altar, accompanied by Anna Lynn. He is the second son, Damon Windsor.
Introductions out of the way, and we are seconds away from this championship main event. Revolutionary title on the line. Big Lance Hoyt there against Damon Windsor. Hoyt, internationally traveled, internationally accomplished, has held so many championships in his career, and all the mind games that Damon Windsor loves to play I think that simple little statement right there shows they are not going to have an effect on the American Psycho, Lance Hoyt.
Now, big old Lance Hoyt has been known to be just a physically ground and pound type of guy. Lance Hoyt is not intimidated. I don't know about all that.
How many times has Damon Windsor ever had to look up to somebody in the ring? That's the towering aspect of Lance Hoyt.
Can you imagine if Lance Hoyt kneels, though? Look at this, look at this!
Oh, yeah, look at that. Right in the face of Damon Windsor.
Maybe that holy water's gonna douse on Windsor.
And Hoyt just laughing this off. Because he's just going to wait for the opportunity to come collide.
He backed up Windsor.
And these are two big Bull of the Wood type peoples. And Windsor going to make the same charge in here. Boom! The crack heard throughout the arena here in Wichita, Kansas, as neither man giving the least bit of an inch. Windsor off the rope, once again shoulder tackle, only a tiny little step back from Lance Hoyt.
Surprisingly enough, both the second son and the American Psycho were not budging, and Windsor doing a very smart maneuver, catching Hoyt off guard and then just nailing him in the back of the head and neck area.
Well, Windsor discovered that face-to-face tactics were not going to work for him, so he comes from behind. Irish whip and reversal there, charges in. Here comes Hoyt. And here comes the big blows. Here comes the meat pounding from the American Psycho, Lance Hoyt.
So I was talking about just the brute strength. The ground pound doesn't matter. I'm just going to take my fist and put it in your face.
Windsor holds on. Hoyt charges in. Tries to send Windsor over the top. Uses the leverage. Finally gets him over there. And Hoyt then is going to pursue to the outside.
And Windsor's going to have a meeting with the guardrail on the outside.
He always seems to come out on the worst end of that.
Well, I mean, I don't know where you would come in on the top part of that. I mean, unless you know something I don't.
Huge chop overhand by Lance Hoyt, and he turns it to the crowd to give them a little opportunity to get some revenge as Anna Lynn steps right up
Yeah, you might
and
want to
then
back away.
thinks better of it.
That's the American Psycho. I wouldn't really go near him.
I mean, Anna Lim is not exactly playing with a full deck either. She recognized that it was a better choice to step back from Lance Hoyt and to allow Damon Windsor to try and make better matters of the situation, which he seems to be doing right now.
Caused the separation there needed, and he actually sent Hoyt into the guardrail himself. Now bouncing the head off of the steel right there. Following it up with a hard right shot there. Windsor being smart about this. Surprisingly, most people would think he may have just retreated to stay in the ring, but he actually is taking the fight to Big Lance Hoyt.
Windsor showing no sign of fear, no concern, but Hoyt, with one simple move, shrugs off Windsor, although Windsor quick to pursue and follow up. Again, a referee getting to 6 here, and Windsor throws the challenger back into the ring, and now looks to continue to pursue.
You know, I was saying earlier, people would say that Windsor was actually doing doing something that most champions normally wouldn't do if they want to keep their titles. If there's somebody like Damon Windsor, which is just go back on the inside and take the count out. But I think Windsor, he has something to prove in this. He has a lot to prove that not only is he a true revolutionary champion worthy of the title, and there we go, look at this.
Anna Lynn making her presence known on the outside as the referee deals with Damon Windsor, who almost risked a disqualification for not breaking at the count of 5. But all of it basically a ploy to allow Anna Lynn to sink her nails and into the forehead and neck area of Big Lance Hoyt.
As I was saying there, this is something for Windsor to prove that he can actually go toe-to-toe and maybe even topple the big guy that is world-renowned. Can you imagine what this would do for Windsor if he actually picks up a victory over Lance Hoyt?
This would elevate Windsor's stock, which is already incredibly high, and certainly expand his incredibly over-bloated ego. As Hoyt off the rope here, picked up by Windsor, big side slam.
And that's 2 times now within a span of a very short few minutes that Windsor has stopped the momentum of Lance Hoyt.
Well, he stops the momentum, but he's not creating the injury that he's hoping to, because Hoyt kicked out, I think, literally before the count of 1 even hit the mat. So there's plenty of energy left, although Windsor is slowly but surely choking it out of Hoyt with this reverse chin lock.
Very basic, but very effective. You just got to wear down the big guy. You don't have to necessarily beat him with one hard shot. Wear him down.
Hoyt making his way now back up to standing base. Elbows to the midsection, but an elbow to the face puts Hoyt back to square one.
And once again, Windsor showing that he can stop the momentum of Lance Hoyt. I think we were giving, or at least I should say, I was saying that Lance Hoyt was not intimidated by Windsor, but to be fair and go look at the other end of the spectrum, Windsor's showing he's not intimidated by Lance Hoyt.
Well, if the intimidation is such a major component of Windsor's strategy, but it's not so much so for Lance Hoyt. Lance Hoyt is straight ahead smash mouth, although he's getting smashed in the mouth right now by Damon Windsor. Again, the referee getting in there, and Windsor really flirting with disqualification, which would be to his advantage. He would hold on to the championship, but it's not the best way. It's what I alluded to at the beginning. Windsor doesn't so often defend the championship as he escapes with the championship.
Escaping, defending, whatever you want to call it, he's still champion at the end of the day. So
look at the power of Damon Windsor right there, picking up the 7-footer and plopping him down.
yeah, that's not going to do it there. Windsor with a mocking like cover, as if he was just bowing down at his altar. Not something that I think you want to do. Don't waste too much time. Windsor, you've got him down.
Windsor set to prepare, but like you said, too much time wasted before the leg drop. Hoyt able to roll out of the way, and can the challenger now find some way to rally and turn this match back in his direction?
Well, right now the back elbow went into Windsor's direction, followed by a big foot to the face.
Hoyt off the ropes, shoulder tackle puts the champion down. Hoyt looking to make another big impact here as he charges all the way across the ring.
Now Lance Hoyt seemingly in control now of this matchup. Hard clothesline. 2.
Do we even do champ? No. But very, very close.
This is just another chance for Lance Hoyt to add yet another accolade to his impressive resume. As we know, former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion alongside Davey Boy Smith Jr. Looking to add revolutionary gold to that resume here.
Looking again at the power of Lance Hoyt as he easily brings Windsor out of the corner, but Windsor slips down the back, shoves Hoyt off, pushes him in the second, picks him up and puts him down.
Tilt-a-whirl slam there, that can do it right now.
But it doesn't. He gets as close as Hoyt did, but is unable to secure the 3 count.
Now Windsor getting rid of the elbow pad, measuring up Lance Hoyt at the opposite end of the ring.
Windsor charges in, nobody home. Full connection there with the corner as Hoyt makes his way out, now position himself back in. Waiting perhaps for Windsor to get up.
Yeah,
Or
the primal
maybe gonna measure
scream.
for something else.
The primal scream of Lance Hoyt measures.
Windsor turns around and that means eats a huge shoulder tackle again.
How do you think that feels? Just a big shoulder tackle from Lance
I
Hoyt.
think it would, with the difference between, one of the differences between me and Damon Windsor is that if Hoyt did that to me, my shoulder would be out of
much like
socket.
that referee.
Yeah, complete collision with the referee by Lance Hoyt, and Windsor moves straight in, tries to pick Hoyt up. Hoyt ripcord into a side slam of his own, goes for the pin, but
there's
there's
no
no
referee.
referee. He's got the champ down. 2, 3, 4.
All right, stop your counting. You're not the ref here.
Well, Hoyt knows that he's got to keep this up here. He's got to keep Windsor down until the referee gets his senses about him again.
Oh, look at that again.
Anna Lynn showing why she's the disciple. She's willing to sacrifice herself.
Yeah, well, she went one too many times.
And Windsor grabs the belt.
Whoa!
way too close. Oh! Big boot! Big boot to the face of Damon Windsor.
The hesitation of Damon Windsor, albeit chivalrous, did prove costly as he just got met with a big boot from Lance Hoyt, who now displays the revolutionary.
Wait a minute! Are you kidding me?
The winner of this bout by disqualification and still your revolutionary champion, the second son, Damon Windsor!
Well, you know, it's going to go as a win for Damon Windsor.
Yeah.
But again, he doesn't defend it, he escapes. He uses the circumstances to escape with that championship, which is still in the clutches of Lance Hoyt on a very questionable decision by our referee.
I gotta admit, even that looked a little too, I don't know, that was a little too lackadaisious, I think, on the part of the referee there. I mean, there was nothing showing any kind of title shot there had been made to connect with Windsor, but I guess credit where credit's due. Windsor thought ahead and found a way to beat Lance Hoyt, and now he's just telling Hoyt, "That's mine, hand it over."
Well, Lance gives it to him.
Not exactly the most kind thing to do.
Well, you know, if you're going to get accused of using the belt on the champion, actually use the belt on the champion as Hoyt just tosses the belt. That may have gone into the crowd.
Yeah, that was
Somebody may be going home
disrespectful.
with an amazing prize there.
Oh, no, there it is. It's right there in Annalyn's grasp.
Annalyn once again making herself very, very useful by grabbing hold of the championship. But, yeah.
I don't know. Lance Hoyt definitely showing his displeasure there. As we said, the ruling is Damon Windsor, your winner and still revolutionary champion, whether Lance Hoyt likes it or not.
And look who's standing in the ring. And look who's barely able to get to their feet.
Doesn't matter who gets to their feet, who walks out with the gold.
Well, I've yet to see Damon Windsor actually be able to walk. He's sliding and slithering into the back because he knows full well that if circumstances had just been a tad bit different, he very well could be walking back with no championship gold around him, and our new revolutionary champion would be Lance Hoyt.
Well, Lance Hoyt definitely getting the admiration from the crowd here. Tough fight, but a tough loss here for Lance Hoyt.
Well, fans, we thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're here next week. All kinds of great WCR action. Until then, thank you for tuning in as the revolution continues to be televised.